All right, so let's start with the first thing I think is important, that is using an analyzer and setting it up. Now, my favorite analyzer is Span by Voxengo. It's free. It's a free download. And it's got really good capabilities. So it's really like a good option. So go and check it out. Now, having an analyzer, I think, is really important because obviously you make music with your ears, but just having some visual aid and just to kind of really understand what you're listening to, an analyzer is really, really essential in my workflow. But when you start using this standardly, the default setup is actually very low in resolution and actually is not really using the full capabilities of Span. Now, first of all, you see here in Ableton, I have just quickly dragged in a loop from my new sample pack for Loop Masters. Go and check out Loop Masters' website for that one if you don't know about it. Now here, if I start playing it, we'll start analyzing this. This is on the master channel, by the way. You see this is not very loud at the moment, but that's all good. Now, you see here the spectrum, low frequencies to high, and which kind of dB area they are hitting, and here is just your master level. Also, what's good to notice is that you have your crest factor here, which if you hit reset, you see this is a measure of your headroom. It's basically the relation between your peak level and your RMS level. And for final mixes, we'll get back to this in more detail, but this is a really good number to read out how loud a tune really is, like measure your headroom. But what I want to do is I want to up the resolution a little bit on this. I want to see a little bit more. You can see, especially here in the low area where obviously the steps in frequency are more obvious on a logarithmic scale. You can see it just rounds this off pretty crudely. I want more detail. Now, first of all, we'll go here and you see this button, edit. And here you can change the block size. Now, I think even when you just open it up the first time, your block size will be 2000, which is the number of steps it makes here to differentiate between frequencies. I personally find if I set it to 4000, it is pretty high. You can go up ridiculous, and you can see the amount of detail that brings in. But even on this computer, which has got a very decent graphics card, that really rinses the CPU. So you're gonna find a happy medium. 4000 I find is good. The average is fine here. I personally prefer a non-filled display, and also the average time generally is 2000 the first time you start it. I just picked it up a little bit. It makes it slightly less responsive, but at the same time also saves your graphics card quite a lot. And obviously you want to keep your computer not too heavily loaded because it has to do it all on the sound processing. Now overall, this to me is pretty good. Now, one thing that is great about Span, but I don't think everybody knows, is that it can actually do a stereo analyzation. We have now left and right together here as one analyzer, but I really want to see my left and right both. Now, why do I want that? Because I can see phasing. Every time the line for left and right doesn't align, you would have sounds that are out of phase, and especially in the area below 400, 300, having sounds that are phasing is very destructive for the loudness of your mix and some other things. So you want to be able to see your left and your right and where they differ. First of all, you are going to go here into routing and you're going to use dual mono. Now we have to set this up for the left. We can copy our settings towards the right. So if we click, we have left and right now. All of these settings that we just did here, they are the same. Going on to left, we can put right on the underlay. We'll give it a different color. And now you can see that we have, the perfect setup. We can see a little bit of phasing going on here, even though this is a very mono sound. So let me just double check whether everything here is matched up. We have block size of 4000, 2500. Well, maybe we'll just go up with that just slightly, just to double check. And in our right, 2700. This is obviously a little bit machine specific, I find. Good. Well. Now this is cleanly aligned. You can see there's some stereo going on there, which is fine. Essentially the kick here, the lower frequencies, they seem to be pretty mono, and it seems to sort of be building up a little bit here because there's obviously some reverb in this break and whatnot. But this will be the standard setup for our Span. So you have nice stereo view of it and a good amount of detail without completely destroying, your system performance.